Hi everybody, welcome to today's inspirational pills, and we are going on with positioning ourselves to hear from God, part 2 of the message. I believe you enjoyed part 1. Bible says in Luke 10 that Mary sat at the feet of Jesus and listening to him. This is the posture of a woman who was ready to humble herself and listen to Jesus. And so Mary was welcome to come to Jesus in this way, and she was commended for doing so. What a privilege to have to sit in humility. Sitting is a posture that represents humility. To sit in a position of humility, not as his equal, but to know our position in him, and also not in fear, but to know our place in God, to know our place in him, just knowing our place before him and enjoying the wonder of it and the rightness of it and enjoying the presence of God. So we could see that Mary sat with so much expectation to learn. So there's a position of sitting, to pose in such a humility stature, in such a humble angle or humility angle, waiting to hear from Jesus, not with a preset agenda, or with a lot of jobs in hand. After all is said and done, after all the busy schedules have come to a close, that quietness, that silence mood, and in so much expectation to hear from God, to acknowledge that Jesus is the teacher and we are the pupils, to be teachable and also ready to learn and to teach what we have learned. Prophet Habakkuk said in his book, which is named after him, Habakkuk chapter 1 verse 2, he said, "O Lord, how long shall I cry out unto you before you save us from this violence? How long must I call for help before you listen and save us from this violence?" He continued and said, "How do you continue to look at me in such a trouble? Distraction and trouble all over me, with fighting and quarreling everywhere." So he went on and on and on because of the so much violence, distraction and trouble that he was experiencing at that point. And he said the law is weak and it's not protective enough, and that the law is not protective enough or is not useful. And to him, evildoers are getting the better of the righteous. He said a lot of things, and then the Lord replied him. And so let's see the Lord's reply according to Habakkuk chapter 1 verse 5. The Lord said that, then the Lord said to his people, "Keep watching the nations around you, and you will be astonished at what you see. I am going to do something that you will not believe when you hear about it." The verse 6 says, "I am bringing the Babylonians to power. Those fierce, restless people, they are marching out across the world to conquer other lands. They spread fear and terror, and in their pride, they are a law to themselves. Their horses are faster than leopards, fiercer than hungry wolves. Their cavalry troops come riding from distant lands. Their horses paw the ground. They come swooping down like eagles, attacking their prey." The verse 9 goes on to say, "Their armies advance in violence, conquest, and everyone is terrified as they approach. Their captives are as numerous as grains of sand. They treat kings with contempt and laugh at high officials. No fortress can stop them. They pile up earth against it and capture it. Then they sweep on like the wind and are gone. These men whose power is their God. So after the Lord's answer, Prophet Habakkuk kept on complaining. Lodging his complaint. However, he started by saying, Lord, from the very beginning you are God. You are my God, holy and eternal. Lord, my God and protector, you have chosen. And he went on again. And so this is to tell us that no matter what we are going through, the terror, the distractions that we see around us and everything, it doesn't change who God is. It still doesn't change who the Elohim is. The prophet Habakkuk said, I'm going to climb to the watchtower. I'm going to go to my guard post. The NIV says, I will stand at my watch and station myself on the ramparts. I will look to see what he will say to me and what answer I will give to this complaint. So ramparts stand for a defensive wall of a castle or a walled city, having brought up with a walkway and typically a stone parapet. Guard post also stand for a small building for the soldiers who are protecting a place. Watchtower is also a tower built to create an elevated observation point. That is positioned right there. Prophet Habakkuk says he's going to station himself on the rampart. What it means to station oneself is to put yourself in a place and stay there for a period of time. If you station yourself somewhere, you go there and wait, usually for a particular purpose. Organize oneself so as to be able to deal with or achieve something. Now the Lord answered him and said that whatever he's going to show him, he should write it down, for it is not yet. He said the prophet should write them down on a tablet clearly so that it can be read at a glance, for it is not yet an appointed time. But when the time is right, it's going to come to pass. So that is position right there. Just being still, just stationing yourself and waiting on God. So he said, I'm going to climb to the watchtower, to the guard post, station myself on the rampart to see what God has to say, to see what God has for me, and what answer he will give to my complaint, and what answer God will give to my complaint. All these things that I've said, what answer will he tell me? For I know he is my protector, he is my God and all. From the very beginning, he is God, and he hasn't changed. Even though the situations have changed, seasons have changed, times and seasons have changed, but my God is the same. I know he's my God from the very beginning. I know he's my protector. But in order to hear clearly and to see clearly what God has to say and what answer he will give to my complaint, I'm going to station myself. So that is position right there. That is position right there. Just being still and wait on God. Just being in your closet and having an expectation to hear from him. Being in that position or in that stature, waiting to hear from the Elohim what God has to say about what you have said, about your crying out, what he has to say about what you are crying out, about what you need help for. Psalm 27 verse 13 to 14 says, I remain confident of this, I will see the goodness of the Lord in the land of the living. Wait for the Lord, be strong and take heart and wait for the Lord. Do you have such an expectation? Is your heart yearning for such an expectation that as long as you live, you are going to have such a great confidence and such confidence that you will definitely see the goodness of the Lord in the land of the living. The God in whom you have trusted, our strong tower. For the name of the Lord is a strong tower, and the righteous shall run to him and are saved. In other words, in order not to be distracted in the presence of God, he is climbing up to that place of quiet, or moving to the other side where he can vividly hear God speak to him and to have clearer view and clarity. Sometimes you need to move to a place of silence and solitude to hear God speak to you. I believe you've been blessed by this brief message. I'm signing out as Pebbles. I pray God bless you so much for the time, and thank you so much for the opportunity to speak to you. Hasta la próxima, and do well to observe the COVID protocols. Don't forget to wear your face mask and to sanitize your hand, and to use hand washing soap when the need arises. I'll come your way next time. Take care of yourself. If you don't know Jesus Christ, I recommend him to you, and ask that you pray the prayer in our description and accept him as your Lord and personal Savior. I'm signing out. God bless you. I'll come your way next time. Hasta la próxima.